guys, and I'm going to present a topic I'm actually passionate about, which is psychology and AI. I'll begin with a simple question. What's the most important thing to us as human beings, as Homo sapiens? Psychology tells us, number one, it's ourselves. Number two, it's other people, because they look like us. So AI aims to replicate who we are, what we do as human beings, and do this well and safely. It needs to understand what we are. Psychology is the science of understanding humans, what we are. So that's how those two interact. So a case study from, I'll first give you this. It's a case study from 2025 by Biomed, where they took female people in war zone areas and they created this chatbot called Freind, and they dished out to them, and it's supposed to help them reduce anxiety. So women using this Freind chatbot showed a 30% reduction in anxiety symptoms, and those who use traditional therapy showed a 45 to 50% reduction in anxiety. So can AI really help support? You have outside this, you have other tools like Webbot, Replica, and the Freind chatbot, which aim to provide mental health support. And while yes, it did help, the significance here, it was available 24/7. It's accessible in terms of crises and scalable for underserved regions. It uses cognitive behavioral sciences and other therapy and other principles of psychology. But it does highlight that, of course, the need for genuine human understanding and empathy is still key in ethical designs. So how do the two intertwine? How does this relationship work? So you have psychology feeding into AI, where you have developing human emotional response, models of human cognitive. So you have psychology interacting with AI, helps it read cues, understand how my human conversation goes, and identify flaws before they actually happen, and biases. And you have AI feeding into psychology, where they can help scale behavioral research, which this is a human thing. You don't just experiment on people. You can provide, of course, it's also providing mental health tools like the chatbots and those are things that human beings can work with. This is what that framework would look like. You have psychology feeding these things into AI, and your output. An advanced framework would be a simple case from 2022. The study found that emotional recognition, if they added more data, this is if you take a multimodal, if you added more data, you'd have a 20% increase in recognizing stress detection. So what this helps is AI could detect subtle changes in behavior and psychological signals before they even happen. Personalized support systems adapt based on individual responses, continuous monitoring. So unlike human providers who you see once in a while, AI could provide patterns that are there over time, and it's always observing you. You all have smartwatches and things watching you. This is what that framework would look like. So the question is, actually the question, the thing you should ponder is, this makes sense? If you're building an AI to work like us or be like us or even understand us, doesn't it need to understand a basic grasp, have a basic grasp of who we are, how we feel? That's the thing for all this. And of course, that's a bit risky, that when they just use my data to manipulate or discriminate against me. This is where the ethics part comes in. So you have ethics at the core of the center, things like bias mitigation, data privacy. This is what that model would look like, and all these feed into this AI ethics that you build at the core of the center. Transparency is also a big deal, because you're dealing with human beings. So let's take a scenario of your AI tutor. Okay, you have this AI that's teaching kids in class. Without AI, so without psychology working with AI, you're just tracking right or wrong answers. But with psychology tools embedded, you're looking at like identifying when, and other people are using this Khan Academy, Duolingo. They're already using reinforcement learning principles derived from AI to identify, it's too difficult to slow down, the student's about to give up, change something, space learning, adaptive approaches. All this is psychology coming into the world of AI, and more personalized learning, engaging learning, effective learning is what we get as a result. This is what those models would look like. So what's our path forward? AI reflects us, our brilliance, our flaws, and we are trying to create this thing that's supposed to be like us, so we should actually make it better. Design for empathy, audit for bias, prioritize. My only call to action will be, let human understanding guide every single algorithm we develop, because at the end of the day, these things are going to be for humans. You're not developing AI to be used by squirrels, you're developing it to be used by humans. Thank you. Here are a couple of references. I wrote an article about this on Medium and on LinkedIn, which you can find. Thank you.